absolutely essential. We can't just eliminate public works. We can't just eliminate the teachers. We can't just eliminate all those departments that support our police and our fire and our sanitation department and our parks department. We can't eliminate them because they're the ones that support them so they can do their job. So that's why we went through a painful process. That's why we did everything we could. We got $5 million in administrative cuts from every department, the city council office, the mayor's office first, the Board of Ed first, before we even looked at laying people off. And the next thing we did was we looked at every vacancy in the city and decided if it was not absolutely essential, and it essentially meant every one of them was vacant, we eliminated those positions and the salaries that would have gone to those. And only then did we start looking at the actual people who were working in each of the departments and try and decide how we could best balance it so that we could cut the expenses down, balance our budget, and not destroy all those departments. And the first thing we went for was overtime. Now, a lot of that overtime fills vacant positions that are necessary. We know that. But we looked at cutting down overtime first, and when we finally got to a point where we couldn't cut any overtime any further, because frankly, that was going to make matters worse, we then actually had to lay people off. And vowed to bring them back as quickly as we could, or if the unions would help us to get the help first and keep them here or bring them back even quicker. We did get help from a lot of the unions, and some never left, and some came back soon. They're not all back yet. They're not all promoted yet back to where they were. We need to put them there. We need those positions filled. We need those men and women working there. But
just one more question.
Yeah, sure.
There are other conditions, health conditions, in the city of Yonkers that can be corrected by their summarsable offenses. And I believe that if these summonses are issued, it's revenue that can come into the city of Yonkers, and they're out there. For example, you take these signs that are posted out in the streets. It explains to people that if your dog littering, clean it up. They don't specify on the sign exactly. In other words, the sign says that as long as the dog can defecate or can urinate, whether it's on a lawn, on homeowner's property, it's okay as long as they pick it up. Now, if you read that sign, the sign says, just as long as you clean it up. It doesn't say curb your dog. It just says clean it up after your dog defecates.
That's right.
Now, if you go back into Eastchester, New York, and I've been there, and I had a few pictures taken, photographs. I had my wife enlarging them on a computer. And their signs specifically state dog waste. And here's what they post on the sign. These are some of the offenses. Walkman on one sign reads, dogs, this is Eastchester, New York signs.
Right.
Dog waste is a threat to the health of our children, degrades our town, and transmits diseases. Now that sign is up in Eastchester. My question is, why isn't that sign posted up even else? If you look at our sign says, our sign says, clean up after your dog. It's the law. That's all it says.
Okay, well, listen, I mean, Eastchester explains why it's obviously offensive and dangerous, but it doesn't change what the fine's going to be. We will fine them if we catch them. Just think about this. In a city of 200,000 people, and it's almost 20 square miles, you got to catch them letting their dogs defecate in the streets and not clean it up to fine them. Believe me, the fines that we get from those offenses are not going to balance our budget. We will fine people when we catch them not cleaning up after their animals. but that's not gonna balance our budget. And whether it explains why it's dangerous or not, frankly, as an adult, we shouldn't have to explain. You know it's not good. You know that if a child steps in it or plays and they're in dog feces, it's bad for them. That's not to say what Eastchester has done is not good, but we're going to find them. If we get them, they're going to get a summons, they're going to get fined, and they will pay. We have, believe me, if you look at what our police are doing now, and they recognize that the revenue's coming in because of the tickets they issue. If the revenues come in, it makes it a little bit easier for us to do the things we need to do to close that budget gap. The summonses are up. Speeding, traffic violations, the summonses are up. And they're doing that, and we're obviously encouraging them to do that because we need the revenues. But as far as that, the reason our signs are up is it's against